Hi, I'm Peter Kilcoyne. I'm the Managing Director of TeacherMatic. I've just done a session on TeacherMatic at the OneFile conference. So this was covering sort of what AI can do in general for teachers around efficiency and creativity, how it can save them time, give them new ideas. And then I demonstrated the TeacherMatic platform and showed a number of different tools that allows teachers to easily engage with this technology. The potential is absolutely massive. So there's a number of different ways in which AI could make a big difference for learning providers. I'd start with that kind of time saving for teachers, that if you look at the dropout figures, say for new teachers in further education, 25% dropout after the first year. In schools it's about 13% dropout after first year because workloads are too high. AI finally gives a solution where you can use this technology to do a lot of the planning, to do a lot of resource creation and save a massive amount of time. So, for example, TeacherMatic is the thing I can speak most about. We did a recent survey with our users and they're saving an average of 3.8 hours a week. That's a massive saving for busy teachers. So that's one way in which it can be used in terms of saving time. The second way is this creativity, that when you use AI, it can give you creative ideas. So for example, we have a tool for learning activities, for coming up with group learning activities. And you put in a particular topic you're about to teach or deliver, and it will give you, say, 5 ideas for group learning activities. You press regenerate, it'll give you 5 more. It'll continually give you new ideas for doing something. Now, for a teacher, when I was a teacher, I used to teach psychology. I taught for many years. And if you teach the same course year after year after year, you kind of end up like you're delivering a script. You kind of end up going onto autopilot a bit. It's a very dangerous thing, but when I say this to experienced teachers, they all sort of look at their shoes guiltily and go, yeah, I know. And what AI does, if teachers use these kind of tools and they go on to look at things like generating new assessments, new activities, new classroom questions, it's a really good way to freshen up the teachers and give them creative new ideas for things to do. So that's from the teacher's point of view. From the organisational point of view, there are very few jobs where just looking at generative AI, there's not stuff that you can do. So for example, we're developing some tools for HR teams to build job descriptions, to write job interview questions, to write job interview tasks. We develop tools for marketing teams to write press releases, social media posts, urgent press releases. We're developing tools for senior leaders to write policies and strategies. And so with AI, you can do a strong first draft of any of these. Still, the human needs to come in. And then finally, that kind of big data analysis that the AI can do, sometimes referred to as machine learning. So again, I'm going to use an example from TeacherMatic. One of our most used tools is the multiple choice question tool, where teachers within 30 seconds can create a set of 10, 20 multiple choice questions on a topic. They can then export that into, say, Moodle or Microsoft Forms or Canvas or Blackboard, whatever learning platform are being used. If the organisation then delivers that to the learners, it means it's very easy to have formative assessments every single week for every single lesson. That then generates a massive amount of data. And if you've got staff who are using things like Power BI, who can do that kind of data analytics, you can quickly analyse that data, you can look for patterns, you can look for things like, if a learner's having a sudden drop point in performance, you can get that to flag that up and to bring in learner support, and that might help you with retention. So many, many ways. And I think the final thing I would say is AI is moving so rapidly. I've worked in EdTech for over 20 years. I've never seen anything like AI. It's, completely blown my socks off. It completely does. Every time I see the latest development, and it's kind of like dog years. Like one EdTech year is like 7 AI years or whatever it is. It's like the speed in which things are moving is just phenomenal. And it's hard to predict what, just 2 or 3 years down the line, learning providers are going to be able to do with this technology. A couple of concerns that have come up in terms of AI reluctance. There's certainly, we do see in some colleges, some staff are quite reluctant to use AI. I think there's a number of reasons for that. It's scary technology. And then to be honest, if you're not scared of AI, you don't understand it. I'm terrified by AI and I work with it. It is a very scary technology. It's a technology that could be used for a great deal of good, but it is also a technology that has some very terrifying implications as well. And I think that and people read things in the news and it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to be using that. And I think we've got to educate people as to, with any technology, there can be good and bad applications, and to reassure them that what this is being used for in education is incredibly positive. And as a teacher, it's freeing you up to spend more time with your learners, to spend more time supporting learners, to spend more time improving their learning, to support learners who are struggling, etc. So it can have some real positives. So I think you've got to get over that fear of AI and just the kind of fear of the new. It's a new technology. Teachers are so busy, they don't have the time to learn something new, and I think that can be the reluctance. It's, oh, well, maybe, but I just don't have the time. And I use the analogy here. It's a bit like someone in a wood, chopping wood with an axe, and they've got quite a blunt axe, but they don't have time to sharpen the axe because they're too busy chopping wood. And I think that's a real analogy for this. And if they can just stop for a few minutes, sharpen the axe, learn how to use this technology, they'll be slapping through that wood a lot quicker. I think the possibilities that are offered by big data and AI, I mean, on the one hand, this is something that is completely terrifying in many ways, in terms of surveillance and in terms of social media and the stuff that's getting pumped at people. This is the terrifying side of AI. But in education, this could be a real positive, because if you take a typical college, they are generating so much data every day. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of data points are being created. Every time a student walks in, swipes in, every time they take a book out or download something, every time they log onto the VLE, every time they go into a class, every assignment they hand in, data is being generated all the time. And within that data are patterns. And using this kind of data analytic, machine learning, AI, lots of different terms for it, patterns can be analysed, patterns can be found, patterns that will make predictions. And this is where, and so it will be much easier to predict that, this student, young Johnny or young Jenny, they're showing this pattern of behaviour or data that in previous years with previous learners has indicated that they're at big risk of dropping out. And it's flagging those things up can be incredibly important. Then if you take that up a level, say for government, that collecting the big data from colleges can help the funders look at what they're funding in terms of the data that's coming out in terms of predicting success. Is that money being well spent? Is it achieving value for money? Are they getting the success rates? And what are the patterns that predict success? What are the patterns that predict failure at an organisational level? And so this data analytics we'll be able to learn so much from that in the end, in a very positive way, could improve teaching and learning, could improve organisational management, could improve strategy, could improve planning, could make sure that the money that we're spending on education, which is finite and precious, can be put into the best places.